Alright, so we're gonna pull some night shift, try to get some work done tonight. A lot of times it's easier to get stuff done at night when you don't have a chance of anybody bothering you. Phone's less likely to ring, kids are in bed, you know. I keep the door locked when I'm here after hours anyway, so that I don't have to worry about any customers coming by needing anything. So even if they do stop by, it's locked up. But sometimes it's just easier and it's peaceful, man. It's a lot more peaceful at night to work at night than it is to work during the daytime. So I'm a little bit more of a night owl. Enjoy the night hours. But we'll see what we can get done tonight. See if we can get a decent jump on this thing a little bit more. I'm trying to bang out all this stuff after hours, nights and weekends, because I have enough stuff to do during the hours. Got a boat motor cover. It's got to be done come Monday. Got a wheel for a friend. It's got to be done come Monday. So I got enough on my plate. But let's get some lights on and we started sanding on this corner. We went ahead and taped this up to keep some dust out of the back area. Once we start getting into heavy like body filler and sanding body filler and stuff, then we actually back tape all of the jams so we don't get dust in there. Right now a lot of this dust is fine and just falling down. It's not creating no worse than what's already in there. As he starts taking stuff out and cleaning it, we'll be even more cautious about getting dust inside the vehicle. But for right now, being we're not really slinging body filler or anything, I'm not too worried about the dust. What I normally do, so once I get this straight, like I've went over in other videos and I'll go over in this, we'll actually pull us a tape line and use guide coat, and we'll actually, if we need to create this body line, we will create this body line. But no matter what we got to do, we'll get this back. And you know, depending on what I find, we will figure this out as we go. We basically just do this step by step as we go. But the body lines are important, you know. I mean, you remember on this Camaro right here, if you go look at my Camaro video, this thing was hitting the quarter panel, crushed in, and we put it on the frame rack. And you can see me walking in right now, and you can see my reflection on my body lines back in. And that was actually crushed in, so you can see the shadow. And it's not as crisp right here, as sharp, but when I block this primer out, I hope to put some sharpness back in that, but it's definitely there. I mean, you can see in the shadows that I've got the body line back, and I've got that body line back right there amazingly. So, and this thing was hit in bad. I mean, we pulled it out on the frame rack. So if you haven't watched that video on this Camaro, go watch it, because that was definitely a good pull on that side quarter panel. But we're gonna keep sanding on this old little race car, Mr. Randy's tonight, and just trying to get this thing down so I can see what I'm working with. And then we, you know, me and Randy will get together and we will figure out what he wants to fix and what we want to do. But my goal is definitely to get as much filler off of this car as I can, because, you know, that could be a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, you know, who knows. So basically what we're looking for right now is we're actually looking for the metal. So I have found the metal right there. That is metal, which is an excellent sign, because that's just an average skim coat. It's nothing terrible, and there's there's metal there. I have no clue how thick this is, but that up there is just a normal skim coat. It looks good. I sharpened up the top body line a little, as it wasn't quite as sharp. Normally you do that with your DA by holding it steady in one direction and cutting that exact angle all the way down, and that will make sure that your body line's not wavy. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to go up this panel and try to find metal, try to find where the metal's at, because obviously this is where our failed point was with some very old body filler. So I'm just curious to see how far this dent goes. So I actually have to keep on sanding up here until I find some metal. This is where we're at. Woo! We found metal. All right, so I had my buddy just send me this picture right here. That credit goes to Chris Long. That's Chris Long's car, so I can see the body line. So if you look at the picture that I just posted, it's actually on the other side, but his body line comes back into here. It kills into here, and I know his car is pretty mint, all original. So I taped it to there, and I did find the body line up here. Like I said earlier, I found metal there, and I just found metal right there. So I'm pretty sure that's the body line, even though I don't have the door to hang it. So what we're gonna do is take guide coat and spray across the bottom like this, and this is gonna create me a line just so I can kind of see where that body line is supposed to be at real fast, out of curiosity. Okay, so you're gonna spray that like that. Then you're gonna take your tape and you're gonna pull it off, and you can see that that is where your body line is supposed to be. So that's where it's supposed to be. You can see that it's pretty straight like that. So now I just have to figure out, basically we have to work this and see what we got going on and get this panel flat and this panel flat, and for them to intersect at that point, straight down it. That way when you look down a reflection in the paint, you have a straight line. I really don't know any good way to show y'all on camera, but basically I can run my line down it and show you off of feel. So this is where the body line is supposed to be. And then if you see where the red is, okay, that's where the body line actually is, or that's where the two panels intersect. So this panel's flat and this panel's flat. The red line is where they intersect, okay? So I can feel that with my fingers. If you were here in person, you could feel that. So that's a visual of what the body line looks like right now. If you were to paint this black and then clear coat it, you would see it actually goes up here. Now where it goes right here, let's see here. It's actually pretty decent. It's actually like right here, a little below this line right here, and then it actually dips up. That's why this gray is right here. So this panel's flat in the green, and then this was a little bit of primer left over, so all this is flat. So the body line goes down, and then it curves up, which you've seen that, should have seen it a few minutes ago how it's curved. And then it goes up to there, and then it goes back down. And then let's see here, because I've sanded all this right here beforehand, this actually intersects perfect right there on that. But up in here is where all of my major issues are, especially right here because my body line is way too low. So I'm thinking this area right here is really thick with filler and needs to go in a freaking ton to get it up. And then this right here, I don't even know. I haven't added it all up in my head yet. This is a lot to process of how everything, because I don't know what's going on because I didn't spread all this filler. But I'm thinking this one needs to come down a little bit more maybe. All right, well, it is 2:40 in the morning. So by the time I get home and shower, there's no way I'm gonna be in bed before 3 o'clock. But I'm gonna call it a night. So we got a lot sanded. As you can tell, we got a lot of filler on this panel. It's not as thick as it looks, just like in the Camaro video, you realize that it's skimmed out. Working to get our body line back straight. He wrecked this car pretty severely in his quarter panel, and his quarter panel took a pretty bad beating. Car technically could use quarters, but being it's a race car, if we can get it straightened out and not have to basically back half or clip the whole back of the car to replace the quarters, and to, you know, to go ahead and do everything else. Because if you're gonna replace a quarter, if you're gonna cut a quarter off, then you might as well probably cut that quarter off because that quarter had some damage. And then you might as well do some stuff in the trunk, so you might as well literally clip the whole back of the car off, is how me and Randy talked about it. And if we can get this straight and straightened out, then we're just going to leave it. It's been working, you know, excellent all this time, so why change anything up? Originally, when this repair, the last repair was done on this one, they were actually like second in points or something. And they threw it together like really fast. The gentleman that actually did it for Randy just banged it out, like jumped right on it, banged it out, and you know, just did a really good, quick, bang-up job to get the car, you know, back ready for the race the next weekend. But I mean, it wasn't. He didn't really have time to finish it. You know, like literally, he just got it where it looked good, and that's the reason why the bumper never got painted. A lot of people asked about. But this side, there wasn't that much damage. The red is what Randy had originally painted when he had first got this car, so it had some damage there and had some damage on the wheel well. That side wasn't that bad, but this side over here took the blow. So it's not, it don't have a ton of filler. Like I said, it's skimmed out. A lot of this quarter is skimmed back here because everything, was wavy when it was pulled out. It had all kind of waves in it, so you skim it out and block it and all that. But I mean, it's gonna work. I mean, this is the type of thing that you do. We do still got to get this thing up on a frame rack probably and get these quarters out. When it took the lick on the wall, it pushed them in a little. Like I said, they just got it rolling good enough to finish out that race. So we do still need to get it up on the, or the next weekend's race, I mean. So we still need to get it on the frame rack, pull that out. Working out a dent in the roof, got the roof sanded, got all of these done around the edges. Randy got all of the stuff out of the engine bay tonight. He got all that taken out and the wires put inside the car because we are painting the engine bay. So he jumped right on that, got all that broke down, and yeah, you can see where we're at. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I'd love to get this thing in primer by tomorrow afternoon, which should be Sunday afternoon. The body of the car, I'm not so much worried about the individual panels. I think it'll happen, but it's definitely gonna take a lot of work on my part. So I definitely need to get to the house and try to get some rest and get back at it tomorrow. So, all right, so it is Sunday morning. Let's see here, I put in 12 hours yesterday on Saturday. So I'm gonna try to get this thing in primer today. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's the goal I've set for myself. If I could get the body of the car in primer, I'd be over the top thrilled. Accelerate the primer and then cover the car with plastic for the week. So that would just really set me over top. So I'm literally gonna dive right in this thing, just start doing a bunch of sanding, so there's not gonna be a lot to record. And I'm not gonna time lapse it just so you can sit here and watch me sand, because that's pretty boring. But let's see what we can get accomplished today. All right, so we got her in the booth. I'm about to tape it up and get some primer on it. The bodywork's not necessarily done, but so much going on. I want to go ahead and get a good, nice, thick coat of primer over everything, so it's easier to see what I'm doing and see what I'm working with. We still got to make them pulls. That'll be probably next weekend, but basically I just want to get one good, thick drop coat over everything. That way I can have something to see again. When you sand on all this stuff, it just gets real hard to see, blurry, because it's just so much stuff going on. But yeah, got it in the booth Sunday about lunchtime, so I'm definitely ahead of the schedule, and we're gonna get some primer on it. All right, so here's we at. Got it blow through primer, as you just seen. Got me a nice working foundation on it now. It's got guide coat all over it. We went over that in our other videos, and it still has flaws in it, which is okay. That's where I wanted to be at. Okay, it's got some runs in the primer over here. I don't know if they'll show up in the camera, but I just wanted to pound on a good heavy coat. This gives me a surface to work back on top of. Everything was getting to be such a train wreck and such out of control. That's it. The roof shouldn't have to have anything done to it. Hopefully all the roof should need is just to be blocked out all over. All of these, of course, nothing done to them. They just need to be blocked out. These panels right here, nothing done to them. And then from about here all the way forward, all of this should be nothing done to it. All the work for the rest of the time is gonna be in these areas that the car got hit. This, like I said, we still need to try to pull these out some to get that bumper to fit better. On both sides, pull the bottoms out just to get that to look better. And then there will be little tiny pinholes, like right there, you can barely see, and imperfections. All of this down here is actually cracked. I didn't put more filler on none of this because it has to be pulled. So when we pull it, if we crack any filler that's from this body line down, any skim coats that's been put on it, then we'll grind it off and reskim it after it's pulled. This just kind of lets me collect myself and start on top of a surface. The paint that was on it, I'm not sure what it was. Randy said that it was a 2K, meaning it has a hardener in it, but I think it was single stage because it sanded like single stage and it was terrible. I know back here whenever they did the, when they wrecked it and did a quick repair, they were just trying to get back on the track for that weekend, and they just rattle canned it. So you definitely, I wanted to get the rattle can stuff off. That's the reason why I aggressively sanded the quarters so much, is to get back below the rattle can stuff, get it all off, and now I have a 2K surface to start working on top of. So I'm stoked at where we're at. Onto the front end, probably next for me. I'm going home, taking a break, taking lunch. That's another, I'll have to do the math and put it in the title or description, how many hours. I know I'm over, let's see here. I know I'm over probably 15 hours in it so far since yesterday morning, and it is just lunch on Sunday. So I'll probably, if I come back this afternoon, I'll probably hit 20 hours on this car in from Saturday morning to Sunday night. So definitely throwing some time at it, throwing it fast. That's my style. Anybody that knows me personally knows how I do it. So stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, and share it, and I'll keep y'all updated.